Just to piggyback on the game from Friday, just really proud of how the group came out and competed. They played hard for 60 minutes. I think that was evident on the tape and in all three phases. Um, and it was good for the whole city, I think, to get that win. I think that was a big one for us. And so our players were able to enjoy a couple days to be with their loved ones. And now we're back in the building and cleaning this game up, and then we'll be on to the next one tomorrow. But we got a big challenge. We got 5 games remaining here, and as we've been saying all along, our goal each week is to find a way to get to 1-0 for that week. So I'll go ahead and open it up from there.
First question, Dan.
Ben, I got two questions for you. They're very different in theme. The first one, we obviously understand your eagerness to feed Chicago, but I'm curious when the idea of your shirt removal entered consideration for you on Friday.
Well, yeah, that was a spur of the moment deal, I guess. But I figured the sooner the better because I'm not in the weight room very much anymore, and so this thing keeps getting a little bit worse as we go along in the season. So no, it was good, man. I hate to draw attention away from our players, but the intent was to bring up the city of Chicago, and hopefully it gave them a little excitement, and because they're a big part of this journey as we're going through the season also. So want to bring attention to them.
I wanted to ask you about two end zone misses Caleb had in the first half, the one to Olamide in the first quarter play action there, and then the other one to Rome, front right pylon on the other side of the field. What did you diagnose in terms of what caused those to miss?
Well, yeah, the first one was a keeper to the right, and we didn't quite get the execution on the front side the way we wanted to, and so Caleb quickly got off of it, and we actually call that backside route by Alameda a hero post on the backside of our keepers. It's one of those that's almost rarely ever thrown. We always talk about, hey, if you're a third or fourth string quarterback in the preseason and you want to be a hero, that's when you throw that thing. And because it's so rarely thrown, he happened to find it. It was open, and we just barely missed that thing. So that one, and then the other one to Rome is very similar to where Rome is on the backside of the concept. Rome ran a great route, and Caleb was working through his progression. The front side didn't work out the way that we needed it to, and so as he was getting back to his second and third read, he ended up seeing Rome pop and just left it a little bit short. So both of those were a little bit of him just seeing the field really well, similar to the Cole touchdown, where not necessarily the primary or secondary read yet. He's seeing it and he's trying to pull the trigger to the open guy. So I think it was good on his behalf being able to see all that.
Pat Finley.
Hey Ben, how are you?
Hanging in there.
Good. In the introductory press conference you had when you got hired, you said you had enjoyed beating Matt LaFleur twice a year. Why was it important for you to get across the Packer rivalry to the fan base? Want
Yeah,
to touch on it, I guess.
it's a big week. It's a big week. We know how important this rivalry is, so just wanted to address that.
From afar, what was your view of the rivalry before coming here?
It's one of those that I think lives in NFL history. I think it goes back for a long time. Two of the most winning franchises in the NFL, and I think that continues to be the case. So it's a big one.
Courtney.
Ben, I know you talked about how important it was just to get the win for the city, but in terms of the NFC standings, to get the win on Friday, but then see what happened yesterday, what was your reaction after that Rams game when you guys become the 1 seed for now?
No, it doesn't mean anything. There's 5 games left, so we got a long ways to go, and we have not been guaranteed a spot in the tournament yet. We have to earn that right. And the only way you can earn that right is by finding a way to win the next game. So that's where our sole focus is.
And I know Caleb's talked about it before, just there's passes that he's missing that are concerning to him because they're ones that he doesn't usually miss. And just like how off target he was on Friday on a couple of them, like where are your concern level with his accuracy right now?
It's an area that we are certainly talking about. There's no question. I will say in regards to Friday that that was one of the more challenging games in terms of the wind, and so I called a outbreaker to DJ early in that game, and DJ ran a phenomenal route, and yet when the ball's in the air that long, it that wind was taking care of it, and you could see it with the place kickers as well. It did a number on Philly's kicker where the wind was a major factor. And so after that throw, I was a little bit concerned, particularly going that direction of putting the ball in the air for too long for a guy like Caleb, who's got a super strong arm too. So I would say that plays a part, but there's a number of them that we've been talking about where we got to fundamentally be correct. The primary receiver, when he's open, we want to make sure we hit him, and then all of our pass catchers, we just harped on it today. We need to be more disciplined in our route detail. It's not where it needs to be. Our depth's not proper all the time. Our steps isn't, and so we got everybody's got a role to play to get this pass game cleaned up. It's not where it needs to be. We're winning in spite of our passing game, not because of it. And none of us are pleased with that right now.
Kevin?
Hey Ben, sticking with the wind element, obviously with all your outdoor games coming up in December and January, what were some kind of coaching points for yourself or things for Caleb that you learned from that experience on Friday moving forward?
Well, each game's different, and as much as you want to forecast it ahead of time and look at the what the meteorologists say, you really don't know until you get out there for pregame. And so these guys understand how important it is to get a good feel, make sure you got the right cleats on, so we're not slipping on our routes, and make sure that we're forming that hook up there in pregame. And so when I come out, that's what I'm looking for, and I'm always asking the coaches, how did it look? How's he spinning it? And it gives you confidence as a play caller when you feel like it's not really making much of a difference, which there were a couple games earlier in the season where I felt like it could, and it really didn't. And I needed to call the game more aggressive early, whereas this game, it did create more of an issue, primarily there in the first half. I thought in the second half it died away a little bit, but something that we're always conscious of as coaches.
And you talked about the accuracy. What other elements of the Caleb's game are you looking to hope to get some growth in these final 5 weeks to kind of help? You and Caleb both talked about you guys, the best is still yet to come, how you can get there.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you don't see is how smooth that operation was on Friday. Maybe you do. I certainly noticed it. I thought that was one of the better jobs he's had in terms of getting the play call, calling it in the huddle, getting the motions, the shifts. I mean, we had a lot of moving parts there in that game to create some candy for those defensive players, and I thought he executed it really well for the most part. I screwed up a play call, and he made it right for me, and so that was good to see. So he's getting better each and every week in that regard of playing the quarterback position. Like I said, it's all hands on deck for us to clean up this passing game to make it more of a weapon.
Herb?
Coach, I know the goal is 1-0 and 100% focused on Green Bay as it should be. And I feel like it's probably a little bit easier at times during the season when there were still questions about competition or quarterbacks of the opposing teams. Now you guys have gone out, you've beat two people that came in as division leaders. You got a statement win out in Philly. Does it become more challenging as a team to stay locked in on only this week and not start thinking big picture in terms of, well, how far can we actually take this team? Are we the best team in the conference in the National Football League?
Yeah, no, I mean the emphasis has always been we're just looking to win the next game. I just like I told the group this morning, the job is not done. We haven't accomplished anything yet. We're at 9 wins, and I think this year you're probably going to have to get to 11 to make it in the tournament. And so that's what we need to do. We got to get there first. We got to find a way to get there, and the only way to do that is to find a way to be 1-0 this week.
Nick?
Ben, when you run the ball as effectively as you did on Friday, can you sense the frustration as a play caller from the Philadelphia Eagles defense that they just couldn't stop the run? Can you sense that frustration from them?
I probably wasn't watching their body language a whole lot, but I mean, I do feel the fours, the six, the eights. They add up. And then our players come to the sideline and, they're calling for it a little bit. I hear our O-line coach, harping a little bit, run the damn ball, that type of thing. And so um, I hear it. I hear it. I feel it. I see it. And so as a play caller, you try to adjust. And like I said before, I'll do whatever it takes to win the ball game, score points. And if that's throw it 50 times, we'll do that. If it's run it 50 times, we'll do that. So we're a little bit more run oriented here this past week.
Phil?
Thanks, Ben. So this shirtless business, when this idea was first brought to you, I want to know what was the first, what were some of the thoughts that were going through your mind, and then seeing how this has blown up in the last couple of days. What has been your reactions, or what are some reactions that you've heard from people to you doing the whole shirtless thing?
To be honest with you, I haven't heard anything from outside of the building. My wife was just laughing. That's about it. Yeah, I guess my 2-year-old was watching the TV screen back at home, and she's like, "No shirt, no shirt." She just pointed to the screen, "No shirt, no shirt." And my wife had no idea what was going on. So that's really about how that went. I think anytime you get a chance to feed a city, you want to do it. So man of the people.
Jason?
Ben, what has the journey been like for you as a coach personally to go from starting from scratch when you take over to the frustration you had with a lot of the sloppiness in training camp to what you saw Friday?
Um, no, I think is why you do what you do. You want to see a team come together. You want to see each phase continue to get better. You want to see each player continue to get better. And I think we've seen that. I think what makes you proud as a coach is when you watch some guys go down because of attrition, injury, whatever that is, and other guys step up in their stead and answer that bell. And I think we've had a number of guys that have done that over the course of the year, and the team just rallies around them. I think that's the beautiful thing about sports, particularly team sports like we're in. It takes all of us to have success, and as fortunate as we are to be winning football games right now, everyone knows that there's a way that happens, and we're committed to doing the right work. Coaching staff doesn't take any shortcuts. Our players don't take any shortcuts, and to see it all come to life and them get some results that they desperately desire, I think that's always a beautiful thing.
Dan?
Ben, connected to Herb's question about this team being able to be present and locked in on each week. That's easy to preach, harder to attain. How do you describe the coaching principles that bring that about, and then the locker room components that allow a team to be so consistently locked in?
Well, I mean, we've got some good veteran leadership. I think I've been saying that for the last few weeks, where they help control that narrative there in the locker room. There's no question in my mind that they won't let the fact that we've won 9 games go to anybody's head. Like I've been saying all along, we have not achieved anything yet, and the season's far from over. The job is not done. You can say it any number of ways. Our guys are going to understand that there's a lot of ball left to be played, and we got to continue to get better if we want to continue the course that we've charted for ourselves.
Last one, Pat.
Ben, whether it's this week or whether it was in training camp, did you guys do anything to kind of to tell the story of the Packers rivalry, to let some of these guys know just how important it is around here?
No, that has not been the case, but I do know that I think George is gonna talk with our rookies today. We do a rookie programming every week with those guys, and it just so happened to be on the docket today, where he's gonna just touch on the rivalry a little bit. Our players will be well informed of what that's about. I know the guys that have been here, they certainly know and they understand, but we have a number of new faces, so they'll know by the end of the week.